new exercise, and what it is I've got these humongous, great big weights on either leg. It's leg weights, kind of tripled them up. So it's about, I don't know, 10 boy sort of kilograms, but build up to that so you don't pull your hips off, your knees off. And what I'm going to do is, if I put my arms up in the air, like this is sort of a ballet sort of da-da type thing, but really stretch up. So if you kind of lift your leg up like that, kind of working bits and pieces here. And when you have your arms up like this, your rib cage is lifted up and engaged, and you can really feel when you do this kind of walking. You can do it, entertain yourself, and do a slight dance version of it as well, if you wish. But I think slightly different angles, work slightly different muscles and bones. And there's a kind of a ballet thing where you sort of one leg in front of the next, and rond de jambe, I think they call it. Is it rond de jambe? I'm rusty. I don't speak French. Anyway, but with the arms up in the air, we sort of are standing on the spot. But as you kind of, it's too easy as you kind of pick one leg up, kind of collapse there, and collapse there. Try, in my case, what's left of the scoliosis is the kind of that bit on these. You can feel this rib cage here is the kind of the weak spot that's left. I don't know if you can see much of that. It sort of collapses in there. So when you lift up with the left leg, this one here, don't do that. Sort of hold. Use the mirror and kind of really sort of push that way with the rib cage to sort of engage those muscles, and sort of walk slightly backwards and then slightly forwards like this, and you can really feel a good old thing work at the tightest bit. Now, the scoliosis not being on this side makes any sense, you know, kind of, I think it's this weakest one. I can do that all day long on the right side, and I'm not feeling any stress at all. But the left side, when I do this one, it sort of is, you can feel those tensions there, good to go, with me doing these backwards and forwards exercises. Left of D with my feet. And I'm using weights, you don't need to use weights. If you move up to them later, after you get a bit of practice. So that's that. My back from the other side, all these exercises are happening. My left up. And there is a real tight spot. And the other exercise, kind of difficult to show you here, but if you go to a door frame, and you sort of, on the top of the door frame, you put your fingers lightly and sort of go down, but don't like that sort of thing. When you sort of hold, don't sort of hold your whole weight, keep your feet on the ground, but sort of just let a bit of your body weight go there. You'll find with scoliosis that you'll end up doing that. If you do that with the mirror in front of the door down and kind of push your ribcage that way and do the same thing, again, and then sort of breathe in and out, again you can really feel stuff happening. Okay, so I found a door frame just behind me here. Okay, so what you do here is you hold on to it here, and you sort of let the shoulders drop while you still have your feet on the floor, and what that does is it puts it gets the sort of the rib cages to do the holding up rather than the back, and gives the rib cages a good stretch, because they get very tight and very lazy, and in scoliosis particularly on the weak side. So one of the things it'll do, the first thing it'll tend to do that when you go down. So what you want to do is you kind of push it the other way to work against its sort of better nature, because its better nature isn't quite balanced when you have scoliosis, and then you can really start to feel stuff working here and on the weak side,
and it's exercising those sort of muscles that on the rib cage of the weak. Here I'm repeating myself. So then what you want to do is, when you find a position where you find it tight, you sort of breathe in, do lots of lung breathing, and maybe hold the breath out or hold the breath in, and sort of let the muscles do the stretching and the work. And the other thing, you can do a little bit of a gyration to try and find out where the weak parts are. And you can, instead of having your 2 feet together, you can put one in front of the next, and maybe you get a slightly different, you find slightly different weak muscles when you do that one. So that was the exercise I was mentioning about the door frames earlier in a bit more detail. Hopefully that helps.